Access dot is complete. Project not complete. They're not the same thing. Promise returns and go build something. How much access Bitcoin up now? 1,000 X over a penny. Who's designed to replace fiat currency? Back to the 10,000X. Smart fucker I am. 1,000 X over a penny. Who's designed to replace fiat currency? Back to the 10,000X. Smart fucker I am. It was fucking designed. Listen, you stupid fucks, everything else is up higher. Bitcoin did 2 million X, $1,500 fucking dollars. 1,000 X over a penny. Who's designed to replace fiat currency? Back to the 10,000X. Smart fucker I am. 1,000 X over a penny. Who's designed to replace fiat currency? Back to the 10,000X. Smart fucker I am. Idiots could flap their lips. It did 2 million X in 2017. It fucking did. They're smart enough to notice that. Can't edit this in blockchain. 1,000 X over a penny. Who's designed to replace fiat currency? Back to the 10,000X. Smart fucker I am. 1,000 X over a penny. Who's designed to replace fiat currency? Back to the 10,000X. Smart fucker I am. Back to the 10,000X. Smart fucker I am.
Hey! Very nice.
Hex, up and to the right!
Hey, everyone. How's it going? Hex up and to the right. There's a little bit of a rush at the end there. I completely stuffed up the times. I thought I was an hour ahead or an hour back, or I don't know. I completely mucked it up. But luckily, I all kind of got it going on, and we are live. So I'm just going to introduce our lovely Hexicans, Aussie Hexicans, Hex Mac, and there's no introduction. How are you going, mate?
Good, brother. How are you?
Excellent. Bit of a panic towards the end there. I thought I had like a whole hour, and I was like, I had it all set up, and I was all ready to go, and everything like that, and it was all like, this is all sweet and easy. And then all of a sudden, I was like, shit, and how do I change that? And I can't change that. And anyway, yeah, we've also got Sammy Chica here in the back. She's been on, she's been doing the hardcore marathon streams. It was last week. It was you, Hex Mac. This week it's Sammy Chica's live from her bedroom. Welcome.
Hello.
How you going?
Hey, Sammy.
All right.
All right.
Getting there. It's been a long day. But
Yeah,
that's
you it has, eh? You've been streaming constantly all day, eh? Trying to come up with things to say.
Oh my god. It's going crazy. He's been watching.
Yeah, I've been watching in and out of the streams, just doing my thing, walking the dog, going doing this and that, and kind of like coming back to the stream, and yeah, just trying
Cool.
to catch it all. So at the moment, we are, what are we at? 1.646 cents. We got over 1.7 for a little bit there. It's come back down just a little bit. Still, it's like just looking green, isn't it, hey?
No, we get up to 171. I saw before.
Yeah.
Kicking ass. How was
Man,
work,
it's-
Mac?
Good, busy, tired. Small, short words that describe big, long
Yeah.
events.
Did you have your roast tonight?
No, I still haven't eaten yet. I came home and then I finished work at like 5:30ish. Got home at maybe like 6ish, and then it was like discourse, and I still have to catch the Ladies of Hex stream with you guys, and man, I'm trying to watch everything at 2x speeds. I need 4x speed. Someone give me 4x speed.
Trying to get it all in. Well, listen, I thought we'd just start off because Jex is not going to make it on tonight. He's out with the lovely wife, and but he's put up a video, and he's just kind of gone over a bit of the TA, and so I thought we'd just start off just by showing that. If you guys are interested, we'll just kick back and
Let's go.
have a
Hell yeah.
listen to Jexa.
All right, guys, this is my 13.5 cent call that I put out there, and I'll see if I can explain why I think the charts are showing this. Here we go. So this is Uniswap V1 on a daily chart from pretty much the start of Hex, and we had our first run up. So a few things of note. We've got the beginning of a bottom trend line here, which I've drawn in red. Then we've got another sort of trend line in blue, which doesn't look like much of a trend at the moment, but you'll see that sort of play out as we move up the chart. But you can see there's a few points of support here, and here, and here. And then we've got in green, this is another sort of upper trend line, which is more in line with Richard's random line. So just taking 3 points that we get a lot of touch points on, and as we extrapolate that out, you'll see why I think that's important. But yeah, it was good to do. I don't know if these are 100% accurate way I've got them lined up here, but they'll be close enough by the time we zoom out. And then markets tend to move in waves, and that's where this is where the whole Elliott wave theory comes from, where you get an impulse wave, pullback, bigger impulse wave, which is usually a third wave is the biggest, then another pullback, and then the market tends to get exhausted, and that's the top of the market, and then you go into what they call an ABC corrective wave. So general thing is usually the third leg up is should never be the smallest. It is often the biggest, and that will be apparent when we move forward a little bit as well. So what I'm going to do is take this move that we've experienced before as a fractal, and I'm going to lay that over the chart, and you'll see a few cool things that come out of that as well. All right, so let's start to move along. So we went through our corrective pattern, which is an A, B, C corrective pattern, which is typical, but with Elliott waves and with markets, you get waves within waves. So you have a smaller wave, and then that smaller wave forms the base of the next larger cycle. So the same, the deal with super cycles and things like that. So we have this smaller cycle within the bigger cycle. So I think this first leg up was this first Elliott wave up the full 5 points form just the first leg up of the larger Elliott wave. And we've had our corrective wave here down to 2 in the larger Elliott wave. So then we're moving into what I think we're moving into is now phase 3, of the bigger Elliott wave, which is, like we said, should be the biggest. And then if it plays out, we'll have the rest of that wave, we'll have a pullback, and then we'll finish up here at the 5th leg of that cycle. So what's interesting, and why do I see a lot of confluence, is those trend lines that I've drawn. So the red one forms the base of the big overall bottom of the chart. And that's what we've just been through now. And you can go look at any chart, Bitcoin, Link, all of them. What tends to happen is you've got this a base trend line, and they move away from that trend line, and inevitably they come back to correct onto it. So I think the blue line is probably more in line with what we should see, but because we had the big payday event, that blew things out of proportion. So essentially you've got a stock split in there, which has changed the chart to some degree. But even still, you can see on this blue line, you move away, you correct back to the blue line, and then we should have pushed off and kept going, but we had big payday, and then we've had to go into this big accumulation zone here after big payday. So what I've taken is a bar pattern from here up to, and I've done it right up to this last point in time, because why not? At least we can drag out and see exactly where this might go over the longer term. So then I grabbed the bar pattern from here, so from here to here, and I've grabbed it. So I'll show you what I've done. So basically that's our bar pattern. I've done it on a different time scale, so that's why it's not lining up exactly, but that is that bar pattern. And then I moved it up to here, to the bottom of our dip here, which represents this same point of time in the cycle. Now you could argue that you could move it here, but yeah, it's all just lines on a chart, so let's just go with something we can do. So I've moved it to the bottom here, and what you'll notice is this blue trend line that we had back here. So remember what I said here, we'll mark out this blue line and we'll see how that plays out as we move forward. And you see it touches here. We're right on that resistance point of that one now. So it was support there, bit of resistance here. We did break through it a bit there, but now currently resistance. So and you'll see that continues all the way up through this pattern. Support, resistance, resistance. So that whole pattern plays out. So that's that fractal thing where you can take this pattern, run it up here, and it just lines up beautifully with the price chart, with all the trend lines and everything. So taking the green line, which that was more Richard's trend line, but so we touched there, held there. So it's a bit of a steeper trend line, and you can see even when we extrapolate that out, you still get that where this sits on that trend line, so support and resistance here, resistance up here. So that trend line plays out into the future as well. So there's a lot of things that just line up, and it looks too perfect, to be honest, but who knows what will happen. But that's that's sort of where this tends to sit now. Obviously this is saying 13.5 right now, and I don't think that's the case. So that's, I mean, you can shuffle this here, there and everywhere, and where's the bottom and where's the top, but you can just see the way when you place it at bottoms and things, the way it tends to line up. So technically that's where it should be. So I don't think we're going to get up there that quick. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case. That's why I said maybe a bit further down the track we might see that. But just for trying to pick levels and things like that, this may be something worth looking at, where the top of this leg here, this leg up here, this third wave is sitting around that sort of 13-ish mark, depending on where you move these two up or down. But I sort of just drew in a bit of a line there where it may actually sit and hold. But just if you're looking at pure patterns, you might end up there before you come into that big corrective wave again. So this leg of the corrective wave here, which if you're being really, really finicky, would be something like this. Okay, so if you wanted to line all that up, that's how that might look. So that's just sort of some of my thinkings on that. What I might do is I might pause the video and I'll see if I can run some fib extensions and see whether that lines up as well. So do give me a second, I'll have a play with that. But yeah, so that was my call, was the 13.5 cents. Would be fantastic to see it, but let's see what happens. All right, so a couple of other things that I might talk about as well is when we look at this ascending wedge here that we're just ascending triangle that we're just about to break out of, the way you figure out where your target is for that is you grab a point between the top of your triangle, and so if we go, let's say that's the top of our triangle there, and we go to the bottom of the triangle, so that's the range that we've been coiling in, and then you put that to where the breakout was. And I'd done this ages ago, I set that over there, and I actually had it right on that point. Let's zoom in, it's a bit hard to see, there's a bit messy going on, but that yellow line that I just grabbed from the top to the bottom, I've placed up there. I had the breakout point, so you can see I've put it right on our breakout point here, and that busts us up to about 2.5 cents, which is that yellow line I've drawn. So that's probably likely where you'd stop or pause on this breakout. So that's pretty healthy in of itself. And then I've also done some fib extensions. So I took a fib extension for this run up and this pullback to sort of work out where we should have went up to in the next leg up, and you should sort of get in this 1.618 zone as sort of a good guide. And that's pretty much what we've done, is we built up to that next level there. Then I've done another one here, which I've partly drawn, but we'll put back down to here, which is where it should sit. Is that right? Yeah, about there, I think. So bottom of that 618, so into that gets us up around that 2.5 cents, maybe into the 3.5 cent zone. So you might break out. So what you could see, let's zoom in a bit. So if you had that breakout past that yellow line, you might, typically what happens is you break out and then you cool back down and you come and sit back on that line or sit around that line, and that starts to form your support there. So you might see the price sort of break up into that 2 to 3 cent zone there, 2.5 to 3.5 cents on this breakout if it all goes according to plan. And then yeah, that's at that point then you're into blue sky for the rest of it. So you'd have to see what happens here to then be able to do your next fib extension and see whether that lines up with all these other crazy lines we've drawn up here. But yeah, that's my sort of outlook. I think this time zone's too aggressive to be sort of April. I'd be very surprised if that does that by April. That would be insane. But in saying shit like that, look how fast this rallied up. Like that's, I mean, different time. That was before big payday. It was a lot easier to move the price, although I think there was a lot more. Was there more liquidity then or not? I'm not too sure. That would have been during the AA though, so I'm not sure how that sort of affects things. But yeah, that's probably a valid point. There was a lot more supply being introduced every day, where we don't have that. So we might all get shocked at how fast this can actually rocket up. So this, I've sort of said July, so I've sort of pushed it out to maybe sort of this zone here, June, July. I think it might get up there. But just remember, like we were way above this green green trend line and the blue trend line, and we've just been way, way, way below it. So we've been in this massive dip. So just to get back up to be in line with this green trend line, which we've formed here before. So if we do break up above that green trend line, this is totally doable. That's exactly what Binance, DOT, ADA, they've all just done that on their charts. So you know what happens in crypto. All right, that's my little take. Hope that is a bit of interest to anyone.
So aren't lines on a chart great, hey? You just add a few little terms like Elliott waves and fib levels, and you're off to the races, eh?
Richard wine.
Yeah.
Random
But it was
line.
interesting.
Yeah, I
was
love
it-
that random line.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting though, because he was like looking at that big pump, and that's when we had 500 million hex coming on every single day, and now we ain't got that at all. So it might even be a bit more surprising than even we think. But we got someone backstage. He's crawled out from underneath a rock, and he's been doing up to all sorts of sordid things, I'm sure. Give a big round of applause for Mr. Unwrecked Pirate.
G'day. How you going there?
Hey, brother.
Hey.
Hey, brother.
Turn it up.
Texans unite. Texans unite.
What's
What's
happening?
going on?
What is happening?
Oh, Sammy, I was watching you today on Discord Syndicate. You just smashed it.
Yeah?
I
Did
love
you
the way
love it?
Yeah, I love the way you stick up for Richard Hart. That's good. That's really good.
Oh,
Me too. Me
No,
too.
no, I mean it. It's
thanks,
awesome.
guys. Hey, we're a team. You guys do too, and you always have the time to listen to what I've got to say. And we're
No,
a team. We're the
keep it-
Hexagons.
That's it. Keep it real.
That's right.
Yeah, keeping it real, having the real talk.
And thanks
So,
for
yeah.
watching too. You know,
You got viewers. You got a good roll in tonight, Louis.
We've got a few, hey? Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
hi everybody.
Yeah.
How you going? All the chat. It's great to see. So yeah, and what a day. What a
How's
day.
Yeah.
Lee? Unwrecked.
Hey,
How's Hex going, mate? You must be like up there.
I'm on top of the world.
You would be, mate.
Yeah.
You would be.
It's going super
Hell
strong,
yeah,
isn't
man.
it? Super strong. Let's just go over a bit of the news of the last kind of few days. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but there is now a cheaper way to buy Hex, and that's through 1inch, the 1inch version 3.
Oh, yeah.
And Staker app are actually going to be using that. So now if you want to buy stakes, if you want to buy stakes on Staker, it's going to be 28% cheaper. And I also suggest that if any Hexicans are out there, check Uniswap, but also go and check 1inch version 3, because Uniswap also put out their version 3, or it's coming in I can't remember when. I think it's in May or something. They're going to release it, and they've done some weird stuff. They've done some interesting stuff, but very, very weird. My take on it is that they're kind of turning the liquidity providers into degens, because they're doing all these things where you can kind of like put, like, if you're a liquidity provider in the past, you'd have impermanent loss, meaning that if let's say you have Hex and ETH in a pair and Hex goes to the moon, because you're a liquidity provider, because it has to rebalance the ratio, you're stuck with a whole lot of ETH instead of Hex.
Correct.
And the total amount is the same, but if you would have had all your money in Hex, you would have made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of loss that way. But what they've done with this version 3 is they've kind of allowed liquidity providers to put some within certain frames. So it's going to be like, we're going to provide liquidity up to this point, but then a certain percentage up to this point, and then it doesn't do beyond that. And like the way they kind of like made it, sounded very, very complex and complicated. And it sounds like if you want to be a liquidity provider, it's going to be more confusing. And my guess is that a lot of liquidity providers are gonna stuff up, and they're going to lose money because they weren't quite sure. That's just my take on it. It's also very new territory, because we've never had this thing called an automated automated market maker, and that's just new within the last year. And now they're adding all these things where the liquidity providers can do all sorts of different stuff. So they're just giving loads and loads of different options. So that's kind of well, it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, what do you guys have any thoughts on either of those two things, or anything else that's happened in the last few days?
Is
I
that
don't
the Uniswap layer 3?
Version
Yeah,
3.
yeah,
Version
yeah.
3.
So
Yeah,
you
they
only
haven't
need
got.
to have a
They're
pair.
working. Say it again,
Good.
Sammy.
So you don't have to have a pair. If you're going to add liquidity, you just have to have one coin, which is easier.
No, I don't think so.
Some
There are
changes where you can.
there
you
are
can
other
set your-
platforms. There are other platforms which are doing that. Like I think that the DYDX are going to be the first ones to release a layer 2 solution through Starkware. They're going to have I think I'm not sure if it's optimistic rollouts or if it's just zero knowledge proofs, but they're going to have a thing where you can just be putting in one thing and providing liquidity for a number of things or two things. But no, in Uniswap you still need to provide the pairs. It's just that they're doing things like they're saying if the number goes up to this, then you take it out, and
You can
they're
set a
doing
parameter.
it.
So you can tap
Parameters,
basically
yeah.
You can tap out your liquidity if it goes beyond your risk tolerance, basically.
Yeah, and they're doing it through NFT technology as well.
Yeah.
So it's also a little bit unsure as to what effect that will have on gas and whether all of a sudden we'll have a whole lot more sort of congestion
There's an
because
issue
these
with that.
liquidity providers are kind of doing all these other shenanigans and stuff like that. But the really good news is the 1inch has just come out, and maybe I guess because they're in competition with Uniswap and they've just gone, bang, we've made a gas a lot cheaper through some optimizations, and
really?
so it's 28% cheaper on 1inch. Yeah.
Okay, so 1inch is the best now for the heat hex pair.
Well, check it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're
I've got
obviously.
it. I can share the screen now. I've got it up now if you want.
So,
Oh yeah, let's. Okay, I'll share the screen. Yeah,
So we can have a look at this data because
That'd be
Uh,
great.
so if you did a swap in MetaMask, it'd choose 1inch over the others because it chooses the best rate, wouldn't it?
been moving so quickly today. There could be different amount. Like if the numbers have been, there's been a lot of activity today with the price of Hex and the amount of exchange you can get for your 1 ETH. I look at the basic stuff, but all of that stuff that you're talking about, Bluey, is like, the liquidity provider is they're saying all the sales pitches. They're providing incentive to liquidity providers, and there is some good reasons for providing liquidity. But yeah, look, I go between the 1inch, go between
Ethex.com.
Here we go. 1inch. I've got ethex.com, and then I've also got the quick swap open. And I was looking at the amount of hex that's available in the pool for hex at the moment. It's only like 39 million. Is that right? Yeah, 39 million hex on ethex.com, and then you've got this is just the change. So yeah, it's down to 104,929 now. So it's come down a little bit, but gee whiz, that was a pretty strong movement.
Yeah. Well, we're at 1.6. We're at 1.6 cents at the moment.
Yep. Yeah. So that's massive. That's a massive move. So well, it was always going to happen. We were saying, I was sort of thinking, being conservative, saying maybe April, May, June was going to be the greatest pump of all time. But do you think we're seeing the greatest pump of all time just yet? I just think it's just the story so far is we're just getting started, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just getting started for sure. Yeah. Like
It's so exciting.
But yeah,
Go ahead, Anurag.
I was just going to say, I try not to get bogged down too much in the detail. Obviously, I'm not an expert in that and all that stuff, but I mean, I've tried to understand the X times Y equals K, the quadratic equation with the curve where you take some ETH out of here and that X goes up, and it's like a balancing thing, like buckets of ETH, buckets of X, similar to the AA lobby. Like you
Yes.
put ETH in here and you take Hex out of here. That's all it is. It's just a swap. But as you say, it's a DEX as well. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I've been using these longer than I've been using the centralized exchanges since I've been started in crypto. So I'm used to it. The big thing is at the moment is the fees, the gas fees on the Ethereum network. That's probably I guess a roadblock for adoption in terms of small players, people that don't have a lot of money, like in some of these countries around the world where they don't have access to the sort of funds that we do. Like we're very fortunate in Australia, you know, with our, you know, our life, the way we're accustomed to living, I suppose.
Well, the gas has been quite cheap, relatively cheap yesterday and today. It's at about 86 Gwei at the moment for an average thing, which is, you know, kind of pretty nice when it's often been up above 200. So if you do have any stakes ending, like now's the time to do it. If you want to do any buys, now's the time to do it.
I FOMO'd staking today. I did because I was watching the Discourse Syndicate and Matty Allen and all in, and we were talking about the 5 stakes, and I was like, because I've got a little bit of liquid hex there sitting there, and that was kind of just sort of like maybe for market, just to maybe if I wanted to sort of sell off or whatever. But it's like, nah, I'm just gonna, and then I just felt like putting a 5 in, but because I've already, I don't know, just one of those things, you know.
I love that.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing, unregged. I was thinking this afternoon, I should do another stake. I've got a little liquid there. And I'm in two minds, though. What if it pumps? And I want to have some liquid just in case.
Mm.
So it's interesting how the speculative thickness. So
go ahead, Mac.
I just wanted to add for posterity where Unrec was talking about the Hex ETH pair. There's also a Hex USDC pair as well, and I think that has about 150 mil hex in that pair.
Oh, that's a big one. Yeah,
150 mil. Okay, and also on QuickSwap, there's 30. Where is it? 11.
That too.
Only 11 million. Only 11,305 hex. 99 ETH or wrap ETH on the layer 2 QuickSwap. So that's pretty. It's pretty low, isn't it?
That could get bought up. Like
I think Hexagons are leaving at layer 2. The QuickSwap.
Yeah. They adjust the price.
It's just that
on QuickSwap as well now.
Yeah, well, it's a different market, isn't it? You know, and it's cheaper, so people can go in and out of stuff more quickly. But I think that since Hexo had his little freak out, and I know that once he started having his freak out, I got all my stuff off QuickSwap pretty quickly. And I just I realised it wasn't actually worth it that much, to be honest. It's like I'd rather be holding all Hex rather than providing liquidity. And I was totally right, you know what I mean? As soon as I did it, the price started fully pumping, and I'm so glad that I didn't have it half in ETH. And
you didn't have any troubles getting it out or any problems like Hexo?
Oh, mate, because I was panicking, right? And like I went to full fear mode, and like so I tried to get it off, and I couldn't get off, and I was asking questions in the Telegram and stuff like that. And much earlier, when we were testing out the system, I had tested out just putting one hex down into easy. I tested out putting one hex down in, but then I wasn't going to pay the $50 to put that one hex all the way. We just wanted to check that it worked the halfway really easily, and it did. So I just left it there and just forgot about it. And this time, when I'm panicking, and I'm like, then finally it says a checkpoint's come up, and I was like, yes, and and I didn't. So I paid $50 to move one hex from the layer 2 down to layer 1, and then I realized. Then I realized I did that, and I was like, "Oh, what am I doing?" And then I was looking, and I had to wait it for well, that's one time I've done it, but then I was
I've done it a few times as well, where you just you hit the send button or the confirm, and then you haven't put anything in. You haven't put anything in the line.
Yeah, right.
They just take your money. It's like, what do you do?
I never did anything with Swap. I never had the time to look into it. I know you guys are all doing it. And I think only Hexo was the only one that had a couple of issues, and that was the time frame.
Yeah, it started off great and it was all exciting because I was like, oh, yeah, everyone's going to be able to do this and it's going to be much better and people are going to go straight, buy because they can get onto Ramp Network and just buy Matic and then they're going to be able to buy Hex from that. So it's going to be much easier. And then Ramp's going to offer just straight Hex and it's going to be really easy for people to do and it's going to be half the cost and and then when I started providing liquidity, it was like a really good because the quick token was worth like over $500 or something like that. So we were getting like really huge rewards. But then of course like the quick token just like took a big dump and like I don't know what it is now. I just kind of after I went off it, I just went see you later. But it's at the moment it's not really
into that. You FOMO
yeah.
into that. When I did, I was watching I got to stop watching DS because I was watching that and they were talking about it. And I was just gonna ignore it until those guys started saying, "Oh yeah, it's all right." I went and put a little bit of lunch.
I really like, you know what? I also really like because Brennan was so kind of like gung ho and he was really making progress and like, and I thought, yeah, we're really just doing something, but just Hexicans just kind of like making it all happen. You know, we've researched this and I fully researched into the technology as well and saw what the technology was that they were doing and stuff like that. And look, it seems to be still working for people. I think that what happened is that I realized that since these to get back into layer 1, it has to wait for these checkpoints. And I realized, this is not just an automatic thing, which is a trustless contract. This is somebody who has to actually do it. Like there has to be some sort of human interaction there. And that's when I kind of twigged and went, oh, hang on, I'm just going to take it all off. And yeah. So, you know, you live and learn though, you know, we're at the cutting edge of this technology and, you know, like
we're at the storm, mate. We are literally at the epicenter of the greatest transfer of wealth in history. Like we're at the point in, you know?
Facts.
Yeah. And Hex
totally.
I mean, Hex is going to take over.
Yeah. And us four are probably the most unlikeliest people to be the cutting edge. Like if you would have had to guess.
It is what it is. But listen, I mean, Richard Hart will be in high demand. I mean, he's a high net worth individual. I've heard. I don't know. Crypto King, who was in the chat, he's been going around engaging like all these influencers and people that are in different spaces from all walks of life. And I mean, I've heard rumors. No, I don't want to start rumors or anything like that. But I've certainly heard some pretty big names thrown around. And I've heard, you'd know Hexmac. You're closer to the pulse of me. I feel like I'm losing touch with it all, to be honest with you, because there's so much going on. But Hexmac, who's Richard Hart got an interview with? Is it Raoul Paul or one of the big guys?
Yes.
Economy guys.
Yeah. So with Real Vision,
these are significant milestones or steps to getting the credibility and the recognition and you know, like for the network effect of Hex, or how good the code is, how innovative it is, like this, how life changing it is, and there's the opportunity. And people think that it's too late to get in. It's not.
Oh no, not at all. I mean,
the start.
Real Vision is huge.
Yeah, Real Vision. That's it.
Real Vision.
Going on there.
Yeah.
Going on there. Okay.
Yes, he is. Said that he's organized an interview with Real Vision. I'm not sure whether it's directly with Raoul Pal or just someone from Real Vision, but still getting on that network is huge. That first, but the Lex Friedman one is.
Oh, Lex Friedman, yep.
That is the game-changing one. Like he's 6 degrees away from Joe Rogan. He's 6 degrees away from all of those guys, and that's the biggest podcast in the world.
I've never seen Joe Rogan either. I don't know any.
Lex is on Joe Rogan quite frequently.
Cool.
Yeah.
So do you think Richard will take up his offer?
I really hope he does. As much as it might be inconvenient with the COVID and the travel and the, you know, the back and forth and all that, I think it's just so big for Hex that it's. I mean, imagine getting it out to millions of people that are not in crypto, that are not involved with this thing at all in any capacity, and just putting it out there for the first time, really, into the mainstream. It's going to be,
I think he'll probably do it. He'll probably go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Lex Friedman, yeah, he'll be there. He'll find a way to do it for sure. Like that's
I
a
think
big
so,
one. And
yeah.
Lex Friedman seems like a really interesting guy. He seems like an intelligent guy, and I saw a little clip that someone put up today on Twitter about him talking about like if you're going to shit post, do it properly. Like, and he had some really good points, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people shit post and it's just kind of smear jobs, you know? If you're going to shit post, do it intelligently. Like, make an actual argument, you know what I mean? And he's a very savvy guy, and he'll have a great conversation with Richard, you know? And well, I think he had Pumpliano on yesterday or something like that, and he's got some other people coming on, and so he's going to go, you know, have everybody talk, and you know, after he talks to everybody and people listen to that, it's just going to be obvious because Richard Hart's going to just come in with the truth bombs and the obvious logic, and you know what I mean, and he's going to destroy it like that. So that's just a matter of time, I reckon. And yeah, there's more.
Really, was he on Pump? The Crypto King.
No,
was he on Pump?
I think Pump was on him.
Pompliano was on Lex Friedman podcast.
Hey, can you just share my screen for a sec, Louis? I want to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I want to talk about this, and I want to ask you guys a question. What's your view of if I ask the question to you, what is the Hex Truth Engine? I'll ask you go first. We'll go Louis, Hex Mac, and then Sammy. And just tell me what your definition of the Hex Truth Engine is, and why Hex is special. First blockchain. This is great. This is good for new people that are seeing Hex for the first time and see that. That's great. But what's the Truth Engine?
Well, it's the most transparent crypto because you can see all the buys and sells. Like it's all just out there, and it's truthful in the way that it rewards certain behaviors, it incentivizes certain behaviors, it incentivizes basically holding, and so in that sense, it's like. And also because you can see it on the blockchain, so you can see who's buying and selling and dumping and this and that, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of really clear in that it rewards people who hold.
There's no wash trading or scam with Hex Max. What do you reckon?
For me, I like that analogy, Blue, that like it's transparent, that you can see through what's going on. For me, it's you sign a contract when you press that stake button. You sign a contract with the Ethereum network.
Now we're getting there. That's it.
It's staying true to your word and your bond. That is your word. Yeah. And you know that can last 15 years sometimes. It can last 10 years. It can last 5 years. However long you want it to. But that's the Truth Engine. And the minute that you break that contract or the minute that you break that bond, you get punished for that. It incentivizes good behavior. That's the Truth Engine.
That's true. That is good. Good, Mac. Now let's see if Sammy can bring it home with the cork bottles.
Yeah, so mine's basically the same. So you know, it's a transparent network. You can see who's buying Hex. Is basically everything, all information is visible at a push of a button to see who's doing what, buying, selling, blah blah blah. And yeah, it is a contract. You know, you promise yourself that you're going to lock this money up, and when you get out early. Everyone knows about it. I mean, not that, you know, they don't know who it was, but, you know, all these end stakers getting all these penalties and everyone's like, oh, thanks, mofo. You know, like,
exactly.
thanks for coming, bro, in my pocket.
Closed ecosystem. The words I was looking for was it's of stake. A proof of stake obviously has been bandied around in crypto for counting out, you know, time and time again, you know, before I got involved, and they're all trying to achieve it. Hex is the first crypto that's actually done it in complete, you know, it's complete audited immutable code. All of these other proof of stake or hybrid, like Hex is actually hybrid proof of stake, proof of work, and that's the Truth Engine. It is that smart contract. It's brilliant. Like, it is brilliant, and it's exactly what Dave 43 said as well, along with all you guys. It's a combination of things, but yeah, it's do what you say you're going to do. If you stake your Hex for this length of time, you'll be rewarded, and you mint your own rewards at the end of the stake. But if you don't, you go early, you get penalized, and then the stakers and the other bankers that are in the system get the reward from your interest or your stake. So, you know, it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. It's been running 100% since the start. And
yeah.
I
And
can't fault it. I can't fault it.
And if there are any people who are watching at the moment who don't completely understand what Hex is, or they've just come across it and they're unsure about anything, feel free to chuck a question in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what a story! I mean, what a story it's going to be when Hex actually breaks through the bonds or the. I mean, it's doing it now. Like we got that resistance. Oh, sorry, yeah, the resistance broken through the resistance now. So we'll probably come back and test that now as support, see what happens. Might bounce along there, and then boom, there's nothing to stopping it. And I know what Jack's saying. What that's pretty bullish. 13.5 cents by July. Is that what he said at that intro at the start? But his PA analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Wow.
50 cents in like November-ish, December-ish. That's going to be huge.
An ungodly amount of money that we're all going to make. Ungodly.
Hey guys, you know how Richard Hart did the stream with Chris Bleck the other day, and he titled his own stream, was it $300,000 Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I know he was like copying all these bullshit influencers to get views, right? That's what he said.
Mhm.
But do you reckon he really thinks like it's gonna get to that?
Who's
No.
got
Bitcoin?
Who's
No, I think it was just purely to pull people in. It was totally clickbait. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I don't think he thinks. I mean, eventually it might go that far, but like,
That's what
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
How long on that time estimate? Is that
Yeah.
10 years? Is that 20 years? Is that 30?
He's a very good marketer. He's a very good marketer, and you've got to admire the guy for some of the catchphrases that he's got. You know, like I said, the Hex Truth Engine, really nice sounding, little rolls off the tongue really nicely. You've got the stake it till you make it. What else have we got in Hex?
Bring
Longer
your
pays
heroes
better,
here to die.
Yeah.
longer pays better, bigger pays better.
Yep.
All those great things in the layman's guide, and for like that we are all Satoshis. There was some brilliant.
Yeah, that's a
there
good
was some
one.
brilliant stuff that they came up with, and I really did pay homage to Bitcoin in a lot of ways
Mm.
when they released it. It was completely unfair how they got bashed when it came out. Completely,
It's gonna-
it was a mine. It just opened my eyes up completely to the world when I witnessed that. You know.
I
Oh, yeah.
just had a really
Oh,
interesting thought about Richard in the coming years. Like, he's delaying his glory.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
he's had to go through all the
He
haters
needs to
and
make all
the
us rich
pain.
first.
Yeah. He said to himself, look, if it takes 10 years for all of you guys to respect me, that's fine. I'll wait 15. I'll wait
Yeah.
20, you know? Like,
Yeah.
he's delayed his own glory. It's like, oh, that's a deep way to think about him and his strategy with this.
Heck, just making new whales, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
They're out there. See those Lambos?
Oh, how about yeah?
I think there's some future whales on stream here right now.
I
think we might all be whales one day.
That'd be nice.
I'm just a crusty crab in a bucket.
Modest.
Hey,
too.
what's day 43? What's that? 5x from 60k. What are you referring to there?
300k Bitcoin.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we're still in a bull market. I think everyone's trying to time it. And you know what Richard said, Mt. Gox can dump anytime.
Truth.
But I mean, with Tesla saying, the other day with the bullish news, like they're not going to sell their Bitcoin for fiat when they receive that Bitcoin for the Teslas.
Yeah, Bitcoin dumped after that, didn't it?
And then Infidelity releasing an ETF, Bitcoin ETF, and there's more of them. Like I think
I mean, at the moment, the rest of the cryptocurrency market just looks tired. To me, it just looks like tired. It's like it's like a little bit of a coming up here and a little bit there, and a lot of red, and you know what I mean. And like it's just like nothing compared to like Hex. Just looks like it's powering up, hey, and like it just people. And the people are selling off, but the buy pressure is as big, and you're just hearing from like so much anecdotally, like when I'm on Hex chat, and this person saying, yeah, this other friend of mine aped in, and this other friend, I'm talking about onboarding this person, and you know, that friend of Agnew, that friend of Middle Class, he's like, he got his mum in, and then she couldn't have never seen anything like it, and so it just feels like that this network effect is now, it's especially now that it's pumping a bit, it gets people real excited, you know what I mean? And like, people have heard about it, but then they see their friends and it's increasing. They're like, okay. And
It's
this
getting-
guy in the Hex chat, he was given a great analogy of what you should say to new coiners. He said, just keep it really simple. Say like, listen, they've invented a robot and it makes the perfect hot dog. And it's like, it comes out at the perfect temperature and it's got everything exactly right to it and it's just absolutely perfect. Do you want to buy that robot or not? But I think you really have to, like, every person you talk is completely different. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to be on a different wavelength with it, you know. And
It's a great little savings account. Like, it's the best.
that's it. It's just a great little savings account.
If you just
Yeah, a
wanna
great
save
little
your money,
savings account.
It's a great place to sort of, you know, screw a little bit of money away. There's nothing like it in the world. I mean, it's been the best investment I've ever made in my entire life. All the
Yeah.
houses, all the cars, everything.
Same.
Yeah.
It's been,
Totally. And, you know, we take for granted kind of all the
Yeah.
we take for granted that we use all the lingo that a lot of people just don't have a really comprehension of, you know what I mean? Like blockchain, decentralization, and it really sounds like you're describing some weird machine that they've never heard of, you know? And like we've been through the kind of thing where we don't understand and then slowly you kind of work it out over time, you know what I mean? And now it just seems simple. But, you know, I think when you're kind of telling your friends or whatever, I mean, I don't know, like, for me, I feel like I want to teach everyone about the whole thing when I do it, you know. But I'm sure that people have the glass over their eyes when I do, you know. But I look at it as like, I don't want to sell people it. I wanted them to make the decision, you know what I mean? I don't want to just like get people to kind of, because then, I don't want the responsibility.
You're trying to sell them. I think you're trying to sell them something when you're not. You're trying to actually.
That's right.
Yeah. Something really, truly, potentially, you know, an opportunity of a lifetime or life changing, or just it's a different mindset. You know, it's like, okay, you need to actually. I mean, people think about the future, but they don't actually plan or do anything. They just sort of go through life day to day. And Australia's got a very bad culture for putting everything on hock and using credit cards, and the banks just facilitate. It's so easy to get money.
I tell you what, though, I maxed out my credit card. I maxed out my credit card before Big Payday, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah, well, in that case,
like that thing has paid off pretty much nearly now, and like,
just put a tweet out 15x in 4 months or something. We've done 15x in the last 4 months. Was a tweet that just went out from Richard Hart. So I mean, come on, gee whiz. I mean, I think it's just in a blink of an eye. There's a wall of money coming in from those money printers over in the States and Australia. All the countries are doing that quantitative easing sort of thing. Even though it's getting a little bit politically like people are seeing it and not liking it. So there could be some political pressure on the actual that quantitative easing that the governments are doing at the moment. But that money's all looking. There's a lot of money out there, lots and lots of money. Serious investment funds looking for places to put money, and we're already seeing them starting to come into Hex. We know there's some venture capitalists and other things like that have been in Hex from the early days that have just been, they're probably just, they want to stay benevolent and under the radar.
Benevolent.
Yeah, sorry, you say it.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce that one at the moment.
Man, in Australia, it just goes into the NFT, which is Housecoin.
There's some garbage out there, isn't there? Some crap in crypto. I mean, like, gee whiz. I just can't believe people are so stupid that they can fall for it. But I mean, you just can't help some people. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I was having that exact conversation.
They're bound to be wrecked plebs.
I was having that exact conversation with my best mate, who is also a Hexican, like half an hour before we jumped on stream. It's like, I've been trying to get people into crypto since 2017. It's hard to watch people miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime over and over and over and over again. You have to like let them go. They like make this decision that it's like, I don't want to change my life. I don't want to change my mentality. I don't want to get better. I don't want to have more money. Like, what? what are you projecting, or what are you saying by not getting on board with that? It's hard to watch, it's hard to understand, and it's hard to it's just hard to watch more than anything. I think like I want everyone to have a good education around this stuff. I want to do a U Blue. I really want to get into people's minds and open them up and get them educated towards this stuff. And it's so hard to break through that. Like, it's a scam, it's a this, it's a that. I don't believe in this stuff. It's fake money. Like, God fucking damn it. Will people like open their eyes and see what's in front of them? Because this is an opportunity of a lifetime, and you're going to let it slip through your fingers. Don't.
Your number one priority is to yourself, of course.
Always.
And like,
Papa's got a bag.
People that I actually genuinely care about, I've told, and they've been not in a position to buy in, and I hate having to tell them that you'll probably regret that.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't say that to them, but I'm thinking that I'm going, gee whiz, just all you need to do is throw $1,000 at it. You've got nothing to lose.
But you know what?
That's
The thing
right.
is, right? You know what though? Like even if people decide in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, the value proposition is still going to be there. Like it might be insane against as that we're going to be. But you'll still be able to lock up your money and make a hell of a lot more by chucking it out, and doing your time. And so everyone has their own journeys with, that people have beliefs, and some people have very strong beliefs that takes a lot for them to be challenged and for them to question their own beliefs. And it's such a different like experience for everybody, and some people will happily just ape into stuff and try it out. Some people will be rigid and not change, be ideologues for their whole lives. Like everyone is completely different, and it's like everyone's going to have a different journey, and maybe they will have the feeling that you can get of changing your mind after holding strong beliefs for 10 years. The freedom you feel, we'll never know that, for instance. So how can you compare? So it's in the end, you can't compare people's experience of life. Everyone's got such a different,
feels like life's just
different journey, And you know what? There's going to be plenty of Hexicans who get really, really rich and their lives go to shit. Sorry.
That's
but
true.
That's what happens. That's what happens with sudden wealth. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't necessarily help your life to become incredibly rich.
Nah.
That's true.
So there's going to be all sorts of journeys.
Absolutely.
Money's the root of all evil. Hey, what's this? Have you guys looked at this Hexican blogs? The Nenad blog? Some really great articles written on there. I
read it a while. I read it a while ago, but I haven't looked at it.
Like those journals.
Sorry, say it again.
I was just saying, like some of the written articles and things like that are out in the web space.
Well, Taylor Kennedy for me, he is just like he's top notch. Yeah, he's a proper journalist. You know what I mean?
Really is good.
Writes beautifully, efficiently. Like there's a lot of information, loads of links, so you can keep on. Like, and I remember when I first came into the space and I was reading his articles, and that was such an amazing resource, Definitely. And
all that stuff is valued. I mean, it's just the fact that all this stuff is grassroots and community based says a lot. The organic
like when you first
of the Hex.
Like when you first come into Hex, it really is a hot fire hose of information. Like it's stacks of information, and you've got to find your own ways to navigate around that. Like for me, the timestamps on Richard Hart videos was just a godsend. Absolutely. Thank you, Vince, man. Seriously. And whoever else does it, that helped me. That saved me hours and hours because, you literally faced with thousands of hours of Richard Hart, where there's amazing information. A hell of a lot of it is repeated. And you wanted us cut to the good stuff. And those timestamps, it would just oh, what's this about? Oh, what's this about? Oh, what's this about? And it was just picked it all up really quickly by doing that, you know. And Richard is so good at explaining, and he becomes better and better. You can see him becoming more succinct and using better analogies as he goes and refining it. You know, it's funny because like I used to do a lot of.
He's maturing as a person.
Well, he's just getting a lot of practice. He's just getting a lot of practice doing it. You know what I mean? And he's just refining himself a little bit each time. So he's getting better and better and better, working out what people understand, what a good analogy is for people, what a good succinct way of explaining it is, you know. And it is just that process of practice. And yeah, that's how you get a skill. You know what I mean? You cut away the stuff that's unnecessary.
What about the Disney last year? I don't know if you saw these ones, Blue Bum, might have been right early on. Some of the Richard Hart interviews were basically edited, and they made like this dub track song. They made these songs. I've got them.
I've got one lined up for the outro for the show.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
Some really good ones. And then the other one that I really liked was someone put him doing a rant on what's that name?
IOTA.
IOTA. Have you seen that where he?
Yeah.
Garbage, like fucking he lost my habit. Oh, it goes off. So good. When he goes off, it's the best.
He's
People
so
love that.
funny.
It's theatre, you know. It's great.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But he's full like he says it like it is, and that's why people love him. I love him.
Sure.
I love him too.
Yeah.
Same here. I love you, Richard Hart.
Love you, Richard.
Yeah. But you're right, Sammy. That was good today. Like you going in the back for him. Like he doesn't deserve the crap that he gets. Especially, I mean, we've seen like he actually gave them the stick. Like he created a Telegram group called Hex Bad. All the trolls went in there and just put shit on him the whole time. Like it was non-stop. Like it was one of the busiest rooms, and there was like all these peppy Richard Hart memes and all that. It got real nasty.
What was it called?
It was called Hex Bad. They ended up nuking it Hex Bad because there was like quite a few rat bags that were getting reputations and things like that in there. I started getting. I got a reputation in there. I got doxed. But anyway, that was my.
Unwrecked. I felt really triggered. And like last night I was on Twitter late, and then Richard had replied to someone. I don't know. It may have been Elon Musk about the DeFi comment.
I saw that.
You see the comments. You see people start saying Hex is a scam. Blah blah blah.
Was that guy who's been banned from Twitter 9 times? He said he's on his. I think it was him, yeah, and then he ended up getting banned again.
Yeah.
That's 10. That's 10.
And Net was there, and Net was in there giving him heaps. But I mean, even now, I looked at Twitter like briefly just before I popped on, and there was someone had posted a chart, and it didn't have Hex on it, and Richard said, can you add my chart? And then there was all these comments that started, Hex is worse than a shit coin. It's a scam. It just is annoying. Like, it gets to the point where they're not looking for bait. And if I said what I thought, I would be suspended. Like, from
well, that's right. You got community guidelines. You get away with all that. I get away with that crap, but you can't reply. I had my original Twitter account that I started in 2010. I never used Twitter for all this time. I just tried to understand what it was, and then I got deleted because I got angry at one of the rug pulls, and I gave it to him, and then it was like, "Oh, you're banned." See you later.
I actually invited that guy on. I think
I saw that.
Yeah,
that would have been really interesting.
I know. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, how do you get banned 9 times from Twitter and you keep coming back?" I was just really curious. You know what I mean? But also, I think that you can have fun with it. Like they're such idiots. I mean, it's just like. Oh, pardon?
I was just saying, people must have too much time on their hands if they're on Twitter doing that.
Dude, 9 times? What are you doing with your life? What are you like? What?
He was an obvious troll. You saw he joined in March 21, which is what this month, and you saw who he's linked to, and he's linked to all the kind of
Black
VC
Lives Matters.
No. That's what he listed as. But he was linked to. He was followed. He followed all the kind of the VC crypto people
I didn't
kind
see
of thing.
that.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, I was like, this is really sus. And then and his handle is like, Biden is the best president or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, who says that? No, not even people who think that say that, do they? Like, so. Like, I was really sus on it, and so I was like just curious. Like, he seemed really angry though. Like, I felt a bit kind of, wow, why are you so angry? This is like you're really acting out here or something. But then I thought, maybe you just like what goes on behind the scenes. Like, we just have no idea, do we? You know what I mean? Like,
No.
maybe it could be like Max Kaiser or something who's just like decided to like. We have no idea. It wouldn't be
That's
Max
true.
Kaiser, but it could be like just someone known or something like that who's just got their alter ego and they keep getting banned, and so they just keep coming back to let their alter ego kind of smash it out, kind of thing, or something. Like,
Hardcore troll alter ego.
but also some people, like I got into a conversation with this dude called Yehuda. It's this dude, and like he was just. There's an echo. Has somebody got their thing on? Is that you wrecked? Unwrecked? That's better. Playing silly buggers still. Yeah, so I got into a conversation with him, and then I actually looked at his GitHub and stuff like that, and I looked at his white paper and all this kind of stuff, and he was actually like, he had ridiculously dumb ideas, but he was really thought those things, I think. You know what I mean? I think there are people who just are so far into what they think that they don't get any wider perspective of the world or something like that.
You're
Like,
right.
if you go so much into what you're doing and you just can't see the forest from the trees, kind of thing, or something,
But like, would you deprive someone the right of replying on Twitter to someone else's comment without absolutely badgering the shit out of them? Like, I mean, the Hexicans would probably do it to, these people yelling out scam for a reason, because we're telling the truth. But if someone makes a comment, why carry on like a pork chop, like these dickheads? It's just,
they're like concern trolls. It's like they're thinking.
I know. But so then don't give them the attention. But then just if you think that someone's doing that, then just don't give them the attention. You don't have to. Like, I think it's really like I saw the split in the community when both back in the Reddit days when there was RBTC and RBitcoin, and everyone started censoring each other, and I was really new to Bitcoin at that stage, and I was just trying to make sense of it all and trying to work out whose side I was on and stuff like that, and I think censorship. I'm really against it, because ideas can either live or die out in the wild. You can say something, and we don't have to police you because we think you might influence somebody. People can all make their own minds up, and the good ideas, the cream is going to rise to the top. You know what I mean? Over time, the cream will rise to the top, and people might be rude or this or that, but if I'm reading that as from an outside perspective, I realize that person's being an idiot and that person's being giving better arguments. You know what I mean? And so we don't need to protect other people from this sort of toxicity. I think that's a really bad, path to go down.
There is a zero-sum game in that, and when things descend to that muck throwing and things like that, particularly where you've got that anonymity set on the computer.
But it's just a bloody computer. Just walk away from it. It's just social media. It's like, who gives a shit? It's just bloody Twitter or Facebook or whatever it is. It's like,
you have to learn to expect.
It's not life. Like, as soon as you meet somebody in life, it completely changes. There's so much other stuff going on when you meet someone in life, and and I'm sure that if we meet these people, like, as you get behind a keyboard and your alter ego starts coming out, and everything you've repressed just starts probably coming out. You know what I mean? Whereas when you meet someone in real life, you read body language and you read tone and all of that kind of thing, and you work it out. And most people are really, really friendly in the world, I think. If you get onto them one-on-one.
That's the problem. That's why we have to have all these rules and laws and things, because that's what happens. 95, 98% of people are do the right thing, and then you got the 2% that just don't care or whatever. But like, when you're talking about censorship and cult, or let's talk about the hex culture, like it's been established from the top down. Really, Richard Hart has he's molded that Telegram group into something that what he wants, his view of the world.
We're just laughing at Sammy's comment on Rec. We're not laughing at you.
Got it on full screen. I'm not seeing the chat, so and it disappeared.
Sammy's comment was, Peter McCormack needs a good bitch slap. He's probably got a fanny.
True. He probably has got a fanny.
Man, after some of the stuff that he's posted on Twitter recently, I don't know how he's not in jail.
I know.
Legit, like that's stuff about lying to his bank to take out a loan to buy Bitcoin.
I know.
Look, he's a complete numpty, dude. I'm like, anyone who saw those interviews with Richard, like, I don't know why you would listen to him about anything except for entertainment purposes.
Or a guaranteed way to like be poor and not have a lot of money. Like you wanna find out how to be poor? Go listen to that guy.
But honestly,
isn't it?
It's a bit like Peter Schiff, like if you want to know how to be poor, go talk to Peter Schiff. Now he's wealthy, obviously, but he could be a lot wealthier. He could be a lot wealthier.
Mac, he'd have Bitcoin, mate, and he wouldn't admit it. He loves the attention. His son's into Bitcoin. He would have it, and
I've got a tweet of his saved where it's like, oh, I'm thinking about buying Bitcoin. I might have just bought my first Bitcoin. It's like, this is all bullshit. Like, you're just a stinky old troll.
He's a stinky old troll. He's out of fashion, man. And he's not into fashion soon, but he loves the attention. Everyone knows him.
It's just weird that if you could get on board with something and like align with a better vision for things and yourself financially, all that kind of stuff, and you reject it just to get attention in that other way, that's a weird thing.
I think that's like old school, like old fashioned, like
hold my principles and hold them until I'm dead.
Yeah. It's his character, and he plays that out, and maybe it's old fashioned because he is an old man.
Yeah. And this might
be
that's you unwrecked. No, it's like it's got an echo now, mate. Can't you just?
It's that crazy sound maker. Unwrecked.
Yeah. I know what it is.
So, how exciting! When do you reckon we'll see 2 cents, guys? Do you reckon incoming within the next 24 hours?
Probably not.
I need to go back and check the chart again.
It's 1.623 at the moment.
That's technically an all-time high, really, because that. I mean,
no, it's not.
171 or 170.
No, 199 on New Year's Eve. It popped up to 199.
That was a trading bot.
Yeah, that's a wick, not a candle.
What's the difference?
So a wick is just a temporary. A candle is a close on a time-hour frame.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a 1 second close as opposed to a 1 minute close.
Yeah.
Oh,
different time scales. Yeah.
I'll take a 1 second. It went up there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody bought it at that price, didn't
they? Yeah. That's right. If we wick to $10, I think there'll be a couple of happy hexagons in here.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm gonna be super happy.
Oh, that's it.
No, it's going along nicely. The the sellers are all getting shaken out. You can see it pretty obviously since the big payday. It's just been like waves of sellers like getting shooken out, and now it's just getting green, and the network effect is kicking in, and it's like it's all doing what it's supposed to doing, and it's just a matter of time, hey. And it's like I've been loving hanging out in the Hex chat actually, just listening to people, and like it's been really fun, and often go on around midnight Australia time, and the same people are in there and have a nice little. One guy put up.
I was playing with bass guitar, and I just started I was recording the voice through my.
You know what?
Recorded some
I've heard a
Some of them
number
talking
of
under some music. One of those little MP3 tracks that I made the other day.
yeah.
I recorded some voices over that.
There's
Sounded really
been a
cool.
few times I would have loved to have recorded like sections of the Hex chat because they were hilarious. You're not allowed
Legal
to.
by the way.
Oh yeah.
You've got to ask people permission before you record them.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I think that's what I got told because I was.
Because the
trying to
best stuff
record.
happens when people don't know they're being recorded.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I'm sure if you turned it into an amazing Hex song, it'd be fine.
Yeah, maybe. I know. We're working on some stuff, hey. But anyway, yeah, it's great. It's great. I've been mucking around with a Trezor today. Got one of these. Been trying to work out. Been just trying to play around with, trying to get a bit more professional with how to do crypto.
You know,
you're busy.
Yep, Crypto King. I was actually in the Hex chat when he was saying that, and he said like he for him it was like at least $1. He's holding like quite a lot, and he was saying at least $1, and he was thinking more like $10, and it was really interesting because he is a big whale, and he's just holding liquid, and it sounded like there was quite a few. I didn't realize this, but it sounds like there are quite a few big whales, and they're purposely just holding liquid.
Wow.
In order to allow, because they realize that it's just the onboarding time at the moment, and they want to make it such an amazing deal for us retail to get in, and so they're making it nice and kind of like a good percentage.
Well,
Of
he showed
interest.
he showed his adoption amplifier. He did some screenshots of his adoption amplifier and posted them in Telegram. I'm not sure which chat,
Wow.
but he DCA'd. They bought pretty hard from like halfway through December 19 right to the end of December, maybe early January. Huge amounts of Hex they got through the adoption amplifier.
Damn.
Huge, like massive. Like that was the sweet spot, man, to get in. That was the sweet spot, that December, January, February, like last year.
Oof,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously we can reminisce about the glory days and whatnot, but yeah, it is what it is. Now still good, but yeah, those early adopters, man, just the mad gains, the crypto mad. That's what when they say crypto mad gains, that's what they're talking about. Heck,
Yes.
as everyone mad, that's what they're talking about.
And what Barley G brings up a really good point here, because when I came into Hex, like, and I saw all of the controversy, I was so happy because I was just like, perfect. That's exactly what you want. You want a lot of controversy because in the attention market, that's what you want. You want people going, well, what's this all about? How come CoinMarketCap has got it so low? And these guys are saying, and they're all over Twitter, and why are people hating them? And da-da-da-da. And it creates attention. And that means that people come in and they start looking for themselves. And as soon as they start looking for themselves, the smart ones, I mean, it's just a no-brainer once you work it out what's happening with it, So like the controversy, even though we kind of hate these people coming on and being idiots on Twitter and this and that and da-da-da, there's part of me which also loves them because it just creates this massive thing. Like when that guy was saying all this rubbish, it was just so obvious that he's an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when we were all
Totally.
coming back and everything like that, it's kind of like, no, that's fine. This is all good. This just creates attention and eyeballs, and it just takes. It's entertaining. One person comes in and has a look at it and just starts, looks at one of our profiles and maybe goes in and sees what else we've been saying, and then maybe clicks on the hex.com link, and that's part of it all,
No such thing as bad publicity, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I also try to look at like everything that I do is a learning experience. So one of these trolls come on Twitter and it's like, ooh, let me put out the little troll, scent or the little thing. It's like, man, I got to learn how to play this game at a deeper level, at a level where it's like, okay, a troll shows up, I leave. Like it's not even worth the time. You just go out, do something else, go somewhere else, disengage, and you constantly. Yes.
That's actually why you starve them of attention, and that's what gets rid of them.
Exactly.
But I do the opposite. I get curious. I get
Oh, well,
super
sometimes it's good.
curious.
I
Freedom.
like Europe
I get,
fruit
like,
blue.
get into it. Yeah, you have those little like. tit for
Like, I
tat
want. Okay, what's your
walls.
thinking behind this? You know, like, what?
Yeah.
What is it? You know, like, yeah, okay. Tell us what you think. You know, what's your story? What?
When
You know,
you
like-
asked that guy to come on stream, I was like, damn, that would be
I-
interesting to be a part of, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just to watch and see. It's been a long time since, like, someone came out and was actively like, Hex is shit, Hex, like, on a stream.
Yeah, it'd be very
with other
hard. Because,
Hexicans.
yeah, look, it's much easier for them to do it behind their keyboards. It's going to be very hard to
Absolutely.
get them actually on screen talking about something like that because most people are a lot more confident when they don't have to, you know, sit in front of a camera and actually articulate their ideas or their arguments or, you know, stuff like that. But, oh, yeah. So,
I mean, I've got one from you. I've got one. Yeah, the scientists up a food that reduces a woman's sex drive by 90%, called wedding cake.
mate, you're the original Casanova, aren't you?
little circuit breaker there. Go on, Blue Bum.
How come you haven't been on the joke off with I'm not really missed that today. That wasn't on today, was it?
Unwrecked was on there, and it was a great episode.
No,
Oh, there was-
I had to bail early because my daughter had to go. I take my daughter to work. I got asked
Oh,
to
I
go on
missed
there.
it.
That's
Was that on
right.
today? Was
I
it
went
on
on
this
Cabana
morning?
about a month ago. No, he's travelling, so the show didn't go ahead. He was in
Yeah.
he was
Oh,
in
it didn't.
transit.
Right,
So yeah, they weren't on this week.
right.
I saw that.
But
yeah.
So you
I
have
watched
been-
the one with Unwrecked on it. Yeah, I watched that one.
What Unwrecked was telling jokes? Who are you joking
No,
off
No,
again?
but he was on Cabana. He
Well,
couldn't
well,
say the
okay.
whole
No,
thing
No,
yet.
I want to see you. I want to see you in the joke off.
Okay,
I wanna see you
yeah.
joke off.
You- you
I'm
wanna see me
Unwrecked. I
joke
just really want to see you joke off, mate.
That's like, well, they say you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah, I suppose.
They're all the same when you turn them upside down, aren't they?
Does the undercock become the top cock then?
Oh, geez.
Okay.
That's a Richard reference. Some of his secret tantric magic tricks.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah. Like life is like a penis. Women make it go hard for no reason.
Okay. Need a bit of work on that, mate.
No,
The
I'm
wording
good.
is a little bit off, I think. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway. to-
Good time to next.
Right,
You know what?
community.
I totally listened to a Richard Hart live stream on tantric exercises. Yeah, I'd be
yeah,
Me
interested. In that.
too.
Yeah, I've been to
I
a few
want a little,
tantra
like,
festivals.
100-tip Richard Hart tantra novel. That would be great. So all of the little hints that he's come up with over the course of his, you know, journeys and adventures. I'd pay for that.
I
Yeah.
reckon he's got a few stories. I reckon he have a few stories. I think he's a bit of a player these days, isn't he?
I think so.
What, with his Sibian. Yeah, he might be.
That was just one little insight into the mind of Richard Hart.
Yeah, that's why they hate him as well, because he's just sexually free. He's happy to talk about that stuff, and most people repress all of that stuff and think it's kind of shouldn't be. He triggers people all over the place, doesn't he?
And I love
Yeah.
it.
Do you
It's
think
all-
he triggered that? I won't bring that up.
Well, what? Okay, what won't you bring up?
Put it in the private chat. Or bring it up, like Blue said.
No, I don't
He-
want to.
Richard-
promote it.
Richard is a man's man. It's a boys' club, and boys will be boys. You gotta let them be. Can't change them.
That audio a bit better. I was still getting a slight echo before, and that's okay now.
Let
Good
me
on
have a
mine.
bit
Yeah,
of
it's
talk,
all right.
and- Yeah, that sounds better, and I can't hear myself finally. That's awesome.
You might have to turn
look-
it up a little bit though, Unwrecked.
Okay.
Unwrecked, do you look like you're in a? You
That's
look like
good.
you're in a
That's
ship.
good now.
You look like you're in a ship, and it's like tilting down. I look like I'm in a jail. I've been told a number of times. I think it's the security. This is the Cairns security doors that they like.
The fly
I live-
screen doors. Yeah.
I actually live in a really nice place. I call it Taj Mahal. It's all white. But Mexicans think it looks like a jail. But fair enough.
How's the weather up there?
Bloody hot.
You're lucky.
Yeah. I am. Yeah. That's awesome though.
It's been miserable down here. It was raining when I was catching the
know.
train home.
Oh, Melbourne. Melbourne could be so miserable, can't it?
It was
Just
terrible.
got that chill to the bone cold, and
Hmm.
you never know what to wear.
So,
It's
I mean,
always-
hoodie and long pants today. It's that
Hoodie and
bad.
long pants. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Although it can be
For-
quite beautiful. Autumn in Melbourne is actually like the sunsets and stuff are super beautiful. Hey.
You get the sunset. You get a little bit of rain. It's good
Yeah.
times.
Mm.
Melbourne is a very beautiful place. I would encourage all of the Hexicans from around the world to come and visit one time when we have the Hex conference out here.
Yeah, I was a bit spewing. I was actually really thinking of going to Vegas. I was like, fuck it, why not? And then I started reading on all the details of like what actually the hoops that I'd have to go through, and then I wouldn't be able to come back without getting in quarantine. And I was like, maybe not, not yet.
And then you've got to pay for that quarantine
Yeah,
as well.
I know.
You know?
I was thinking, oh fuck it, I'll just leave Australia and just keep going. And but,
We can have our own hex
Oh.
conference. There's enough Aussie hexkins that we can have our own conference.
yeah, totally, we should.
Yeah.
Hey, why not?
We
No
should.
Let's do it. Yeah.
reason why we can't.
Yeah,
have
that'd
it.
be fun.
But where would it be and what would we do? Because we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
Just this turns into off the hook debauchery.
They're going to have a great time over in Vegas, guys.
I think so. Someone needs to film that, document it as much as possible.
Yeah, so we can live it.
Yeah, and like get together and do some live streams for reals in the same room with the same energy and the same, vibes. That'll be a different one to watch. That'll be a good time.
Survivor reunion series.
But I think the best place in Australia would be the Gold Coast,
Gold Coast.
Yeah.
because there's a lot happening up there, and everyone from around the world. I mean, it's world class facilities,
Quality's the place to go. Yeah.
hotels.
Yeah, we just choose all we need to do is choose a hotel, and then basically, bang, come here, guys. We're all going to be here, and that's it, really, isn't it? Whoever we get. Hey, they're probably desperate for people at a lot of these hotels in the Gold Coast, anyway. Hey?
Oh,
It would be
absolutely.
playground down there.
Yeah, we're all rich now, so let's just do it, hey.
Hmm.
I'm not rich yet. I'm making money. I'm happy with my gains, but I wouldn't call myself rich.
Oh, well, give it a month.
Maybe.
Check
I
on
mean-
the credit card.
Give it 6 months. I think in that period, that's the time.
Hopefully, we'll be doing Vegas in 6 months. Well, not Vegas. I don't really want to go to Vegas.
January,
Although it'd be
February,
fun to go
March.
with all the Hexicans, man. That just really sounds like a bachelor party, doesn't it?
Yes,
Or
totally.
just something,
It's the Hangover movie. That's what it's
Yeah.
gonna be. They're all gonna get.
That's what they're going. They're going for the Hangover movie.
Yeah. How's your new laptop, Blue? Streaming?
It's amazing. Yeah. Well, I can play videos while I stream now, and everything seems to be lickety splits. Right before I was on, I was trying to hook up my bloody things, and the Bluetooth wouldn't go, and I had to turn them off and blah blah blah. So there's always something, isn't it?
It's always right at the moment that you start streaming or start doing anything as well. It's just headache after headache.
Yeah, I don't know what Unwrecked is doing, but
Your audio quality is.
It's
on
good, is
point
it?
Today, yeah,
Okay, so that's just the headphones. So that's good. That's good.
yeah.
You think I need to buy a new microphone?
I don't think so.
How's the camera? How does that look?
Yeah,
Camera's better quality tonight.
Better quality?
Yep.
I think it's partially also just the light. It's just a kind of shitty light out here, and I'll have to do something. Now he wants to come back on. Oi! I want to keep speaking. Go on then.
hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Glass of vodka.
Knock, knock, knock.
No.
McFly.
That's a goddamn giant glass of vodka. If that's I'm
What are you talking about?
vodka
Sorry,
out of
no,
this.
just water. I don't drink alcohol.
Did you
At
see
the
what
moment.
Date 43 said?
Question.
How much?
Here we go. Yeah.
Yes,
What
let's just talk
value
about
will
that.
you feel like you finally made it with Hex? I feel like I've made it. I honestly do. I think as soon as I got all my stakes set up before big payday, I felt like I knew it was just a matter of time. And
Are you
now
ready
that
for the
I
crypto lifestyle? For the crypto
and
lifestyle?
I'm totally absolutely. I reckon
You know,
I think we've made it,
that
guys.
makes you a bear. That makes you a net seller if you do that. That's the thing.
True.
You know,
Cents, I'll be a happy woman.
10
Yeah.
cents.
10
To Jay saying that's going to be like June or something, or this year.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh, hey, look, anything's possible. And we've seen it in crypto before, and that's
It might
that's
happen
why.
next month. I mean, who knows? What if another whale comes in? But isn't April they got a big stake coming out?
Yeah, 4
Yeah,
billion,
on the second.
4 billion or something like that. Yeah.
That's a
That's
lot.
my-
That's a lot of Hex.
Yeah. But they'll just restake or something. Just like the
But I
other
mean-
whales. They'll see how much it's going to be worth, and there's no way they're going to sell, are they? I mean,
Um,
it's probably going to be the same as last time, hey? Going on wrecked.
Don't know. I was just going to say there must be a lot of people contemplating, like where they are at, like transitioning or out of why are they doing this job or that job? Can they step off? Where's your exit point from the whole rat race thing, going to work at 9 to 5 every day, earning a living that way when you see what trustless interest being printed from the hex system, and you're just like, wow, that's when you're going to crack that nut,
Did you see what
How long?
Joe King has asked? He's
Yeah,
asked-
mate, we're in a league of our own. That's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying. We're not going to say what leagues we're in because that's
Australia.
strict financial advice, strict financial information that no one needs to know. Sorry.
That's right.
Some people are happy
Yeah, we
to
just
share.
don't like to talk
People
about
are
it,
People are
Yeah.
happy to share, but we don't like to actually crunch numbers. I mean, sometimes I'll talk shop for an example. Like, for example, I might say 100,000 hex, or I might say 1 million hex, because that's an amount that people know. But we talk about other. We're happy to talk about everyone else's bags, but we don't talk about our own.
That's right. I would encourage anyone who's coming out on stream as well to just not talk about how much money you have or how much bags you have or T-shares or anything. Like in 5
crap.
years,
Yeah,
in
crap.
5 years, once this stream has been out in enough places and enough eyeballs have seen it, you've doxed yourself.
Yeah.
And you're setting yourself, a future self up for potentially some. I mean, look, I've already seen it on Telegram. I'm sure you guys have seen it on
Lots of people
Telegram.
and Twitter as well. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Sammy, what about that guy on Discourse today? He was off the leash, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was good. That was a bit of entertainment for once.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
hilarious. What's his name? Machiavelli. Yeah.
Mark Kelly, yeah, I think he really come across. He wanted to make a valid point, and I really think that he does really want to get involved in the project, and he loves the project by what he was saying and how passionate he was about meeting Richard Hart. However, I do believe that there was an issue with him, and I can't say what it was. But Maddie Allen, who we spoke to, has his ideas of what it is, but I won't say it
All right.
now.
Yeah. But also, it's not good when you. I guess. I mean, yeah, like maybe it was something like that, but also I think that the way Crypto Kool-Aid sort of hosed him down and tried to give him the spiel, I didn't think that worked very well either. No,
I just think that they were.
I know everything about game theory, so come to me. I'll tell you right now. Like, go on.
Yeah, but Kool-Aid's, I don't know. He's got a more technical opinion. Like some of his language. He's a like design. He does like stuff on computers all day.
Yeah,
So like really smart.
When
I
that
don't
thing popped,
understand what he's saying.
when that thing popped up with when that thing, and I'm not sort of airing out. This is just something that happened, and everyone knows about it. It's all in the public domain. But so Craig was it Craig Grant, one of the guys who was like a BitConnect shill.
Yes. Craig.
He came into one of the Discourse Syndicate chats, and he was chatting, and he wanted to come on and have a chat. And I know that he's in Toucan Airs, and I got to listen. And you got to be careful with crypto; it's dangerous, and all the war stories come out and everything. I know they're trying to help, but it's like, mate, it's not my first rodeo. I don't care what you're saying. It is what it is. But look, he just came across as being a little bit overtly concerned about my situation, which is like, hey, mate, I do what I look after my own bag, and I know I'm a big boy, And thanks for your concern, but I'm okay.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Isn't it weird when people do that? Like, you really have that amount of concern for my bag?
Every day I used to get trolled.
Mind your own business.
I knew that if I say I'll put one ETH into the adoption amplifier, I'd get trolled, and I did it deliberately to debate the trolls. Just for fun, just for sport.
I don't know if you've heard me talking on Discourse today, the ladies one, about how I was listening. I've got feedback, by the way. I was listening to the Hex Telegram group, and the British guy was talking, and he was saying that how bad the unemployment is in London, where it's very expensive to live, and people are getting actually robbed and held up for their Bitcoin. And saying, how important it is to be secure about your information and how much you give out, and on streams, things like this, like what you were saying, Reg, because people can go back and say, oh, well, these people were in this really good coin and it's done, a 5 million X. They've got to have money coming out of their ears. I'm going to go after them. So, it's just very important to make sure that, all your accounts have limited information and no one can hunt you down, because when it comes to money, I mean, people kill people for $50 nowadays. So imagine what they do.
I've been watching I've been watching a documentary about like all hard like they're just getting people off the street and doing interviews with them, like talking about LA, Skid Row, all these tent cities, and as you say, there's some desperate people in the world, and it's and it's called what they call that is a wrench attack. So basically threaten life-threatening violence to obtain someone's personal keys. Force them to hand over your pin at the ATM type thing with a gun to your head, like scary, eh? So
but Rec, that's what I'm saying. That's what this Hex chat was about. Like, potentially, even I've heard Wales Only mention this as well. I mean, look at Richard Hart. He doesn't disclose any information about, and it's for a reason. Like,
it is for a reason, yeah.
I mean, if we eventually made a lot of money, we may have to adopt a similar lifestyle.
Yeah, I know. I'm sort of like, I've always been worried about my digital footprint, and but in saying that, look, I don't take myself. I'm sort of a little bit blasé. Like in the country, it's like when we used to go to the supermarket, you'd just leave your car unlocked and go into the store and do your shopping and come back, and no one would touch it. There was a more of a sort of a country feel and respect for others, and there wasn't the just complete disregard and concern for these people are just off their head on drugs or something, and they just they don't care. They just want to they'll rob you for $50, as you say, Sammy.
That's right.
Scary. So you got to not go to those places where they are. People,
Yeah, but they're everywhere, and
you don't know who they are. They can just turn on you.
Well, they can try and hunt you down. Like, they can go back and look at stuff like this and say, well, these people have got to have a lot of money. Let's hunt them down. They know they had 15-year stakes, and they said that. So if Hex goes to $10, like, you can just imagine, they'd have money.
And it's already happening.
We'll take the videos down well before that, Sammy. Don't worry about it.
We'd have to
burn it forever.
I know that, and I'm not too worried. I mean, my digital life is pretty private anyway. I don't give a lot of information out. So, but I think it's something we all should think about and monitor, and just be a little bit careful in case it does get to that point where we may need to conceal our identity just
Good
for
advice.
privacy and protection. You know.
Yep. And also the operational security. I mean, it's great. We've got great assets in our group, like Day 43 OG, shout out, and Jexa J. Those guys. I mean, HexSafe.win. Like that's a terrific resource for like your hardware wallets, and sort of that's kind of like your best practice there, using one of these for your crypto. I've got a couple of different ones. But yeah, I'm still learning about all this stuff, you know. And that's what you said earlier too, Hexmac, about it is a journey of journey of discovery and learning, and there's just so much in Hex that's interesting, and cryptocurrency more broadly as well as you know, it's a new area for me, so I'm finding it, you know, I like it, you know. I'd like to be doing it more because it's only like Saturday. All right, I'm going to do this today, and then during the week,
Hey, this is pretty
doing the other job.
I feel you, Unracked. Going back to
You know,
work and going back to a job in the last couple of
Oh,
weeks.
I hate
boy.
it. You're looking at your Staker app and you're like, why am I going to
Fuck.
fucking work for?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Hey, this is pretty interesting. I'm seeing a few emergency end stakes, but it's actually a shark that's emergency end staking.
Ooh, is a shark about to blow himself up?
If you look at your Staker app, I still hear that echo, mate. Can you?
I can hear it too.
It's really hard to talk when that's happening. It's this shark halted 28K after doing 10 out of 46 days. Then he halted 25K from 76 out of 112 days. What the fuck's he doing? And then 47K, 118 days out of 368. And then there's another shark that's entered 23K, 124 days out of 184. Very bizarre. Why do you reckon they'd be doing that? Maybe they want to restake before the new fees come in April, and they want to just like chuck it out even further. But you'd think you'd just wait, wouldn't you? Like,
Oh yeah, 29. Oh, these ones. Yeah, okay.
that's pretty interesting.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
But they should have done their own research before they hit that button if they lost money.
Yeah. Oh, we're below 1.6, back down to 1.58. So a little bit of a sell-off, a little bit of a correction. Buy the dip, everyone. Now's the time.
It's too expensive.
Man.
Too expensive. Right.
We have low standards for price.
Yeah, we do. Honestly, guys, 1, 2, 3, even up to 5 cents. You know what I mean? If you're going to chuck it out, like, it's nothing.
How are we
Really
doing on
nothing.
Nomics? How are we doing on Nomics? We're up to
That's a great question, actually. I haven't checked Nomics all day.
14 on Nomics. So we flipped Stella by the look of it.
We're not back down a little bit?
No, a lot of those. I mean, gee whiz, a lot of those.
We're 14, yeah, right. We're 14 on Nomics.
You know,
Oh, it's a sea of red. It's another sea of red, guys. Another sea of red. Another sea of red with Hex, just little green island.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
That's what happens, isn't it? Seems
Yep,
to be
shit.
that.
Alts are taking a dump. Alts are taking a big dump. Looks
We're
like.
gonna flip
Or a
flip
small
Bitcoin
dump.
Cash. Yeah, we're pretty close to flipping Bitcoin Cash, really.
We are only
That's
like a couple mil away from
Yeah,
flipping
five
Bitcoin
mil.
Cash. Or
That's
200 mil. Right?
7-day price prediction is looking real nice.
What's it look
Yeah,
like?
they're all over the place with that though.
Share it.
It's all like kind of like AI that they use to like average out the price, and then it's like, oh well, we've averaged it out now this is what it's going to be in the next 7. It's like, this is pretty horribly inaccurate.
Yeah, if you actually go to the Hex price, you can actually see how accurate that they've been, because they've got one line which is like what they thought it was going to be, and one line of what it actually is.
I
So
like
you can
that
see
little chart.
whether they fucked up and stuff.
I think
Yeah.
that's a great chart. Honestly, it's like, hey, here's our kind of little prediction of what we think's going to happen with the data we have, and then here's reality and how close it maps onto each other. It's
Are
pretty
you a
cool.
muso? Are you a muso, Hexmac? You got
Absolutely, yeah. I've got my Fender Telecaster there. Yep,
Oh, a bit of a Jimi Hendrix fan.
a little bit.
Hendrix didn't play a telly.
No.
Didn't he?
No.
He played a
He played
Stratocaster, yeah?
He played it upside down Stratocaster.
Check it. I
Yeah,
got another.
Stratocaster.
And a keyboard as well there. Oh, there's that little bit of an echo. I don't know why that's coming through there. But anyway,
It's a big reverb going on.
yeah, I can hear that
Yeah.
as well. Wonder what that is. That's me as well.
It's you and you're clowning around.
It's only fair. I mean, you used to come on our. You came on our stream being a pest every week, and then now you got your own show.
Now you're the pest. Mate.
I'm being a pest. Sorry, if it is me, I'm sorry. I do apologise because I'm very big on the audio, and it makes all the difference to people that watch these in replay. If there's some pesky noise or something going wrong, people won't watch it. It's as simple as that.
And a lot of people watch through headphones, so
Yeah.
they get it really bad, and then it's like, nah, I'm done. I'm out. I can't stand listening to this for another 20 minutes.
Every time you might get one person that's sort of just like annoys you or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
So you're gonna play us a song, Hex Mac? So you're grabbing
Oh,
your guitar.
God.
Yeah,
I am so horribly rusty right now. I haven't picked that thing up for like 2 years. Unwrecked would be jump
I'm
up
so
on
bad.
it.
Unwrecked.
No, I'm so bad. No, I just make noise. I don't even,
We need to have
You
band
got-
practice.
Yeah,
Like
you got- you
the song playing
you got
over here,
pi-
and I'm playing something completely different. You know?
you got pirate genre going on, mate.
Oh, bad.
Yeah.
I
So
found it.
that's
Yeah.
So what do you reckon, guys? You want to like keep it at that echo is really giving me the shits, mate. Whenever I talk, I'm hearing myself echo, and that's a bit better. So what do you reckon, guys? You want to like call it a night? We'll just outro with this video I got lined up, or anybody?
I've had a long day.
Sorry for starting late, guys. I completely mucked up the times. I thought that I was an hour ahead of you rather than behind, or the vice versa, or whatever.
I
And then
was
I
late
didn't realize.
too. Something's
Yeah.
going on with the time.
It's weird.
Yeah.
You just get into the habit of like, discourse is at 2 p.m. on
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, or
Yeah,
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then they go and change the daylight savings times. They're like, God,
I
come
know.
on.
And then weekend we change again. Our clocks go back.
You know,
Yeah.
like I've always said, there should be one time for the whole world, and that would just solve all of these problems. And some people start work at 2 a.m. in the morning in one part of the world. And in another part of the world, they have lunch at 8 p.m. and they have dinner at midnight or whatever it is, you know what I mean? It's like, that'd be so much easier, wouldn't it?
It's so
Anyway.
weird and artificial to be like, now we wind the clocks back as if like we
Yeah.
just pretend that time doesn't exist. Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And then we have to give an extra day because just to start work later. Or what, you know what I mean? Like,
lose
Why
an
do you have
hour
to-
one day, gain an hour
Yeah.
the next one. Like, what?
yeah.
Who keeps track of this?
And then it's different for Queensland, and like Adelaide's half an hour off. What the hell's that?
Right.
Like,
What's that shit?
how do you have half an hour time zone? I thought that didn't exist. Anyway,
It does. Oh
So-
well. Thanks for having us on, Blue Bum. It's so good to see you, Unwrecked.
yeah. Well, this is all of our stream, so you know, like, thank you guys, and yeah. Sorry, I'll continue, Sammy.
No, that was all, my good man.
That was it. Beautiful. Hex Mac, have you got any last words before I take us out with another Richard Hart music thing?
No, just enjoy the pump, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all
Alright,
the
trendsetters. We'll see you next time, eh?
time.
Nice one, Unwrecked. Thank you, everyone. Thanks everyone in the stream for watching.
Everybody. Thanks
And,
for watching. See you next time.
Yeah, see you on Tuesday. It's going to be a later stream. Is that right, Unwrecked? It's at 9.
We'll see you next Tuesdays. Yes,
But it's gonna be-
could be later because I want to do some fire training on that time, so maybe I'll have to
Okay.
get back to 9:30.
So check your Twitter, check your YouTube, check your whatever. And goodbye, everybody.
That's how time of cross-offs work. So, I don't know.
I spend all day Arguing with people on Twitter, they're stupider than me, poorer than me, and less successful, and less open, and I guess they're more modest, so they've got that going for them. And it just, after a while, it just beats my brain in, you know, like, I know everything I'm bad at, I know everything I suck at, and these guys just suck worse. It's terrible. Never learned anything from the market. If you can't understand why Bitcoin is in the top 10, you need to shut the fuck up. If you cannot understand the market you are participating in, you need to shut the fuck up. If you cannot understand your competitors' weaknesses, trends, you need to shut the fuck up. If you cannot understand how to take their customers from them, you need to shut the fuck up. I started my first business out of my front yard from fucking scratch, from nothing, right? I've been a serial success over and over and over again. I retired 2003, 6 years before Bitcoin was fucking invented. I've made and lost more money than they will have ever earned in their entire life. I've hired and fired more people than they will ever interact with professionally in their entire life. I called the 20K Christmas 6 months ahead of time. If you cannot understand why Bitcoin is in the top 10, you need to shut the fuck up. If you cannot understand the market you are participating in, you need to shut the fuck up. If you cannot understand your competitors' weaknesses, trends, you need to shut the fuck up. If you cannot understand how to take their customers from them, you need to shut the fuck up. Understand why Bitcoin is in the top 10, you need to shut the fuck up. If you cannot understand the market you are participating in, you need to shut the fuck up. If you cannot understand your competitors' weaknesses, trends, you need to shut the fuck up. If you cannot understand how to take their customers from them, you need to shut the fuck up. Because you do not know what you are doing. You do not understand the market that you are participating in. If you do not understand your competitors, their strengths, their weaknesses, how to take their customers from them, how to get customers that they don't have access to, how to outprice them. If you don't understand these things, you don't understand shit.